Good afternoon and welcome to TalkSports. It's our weekly weekend program where we speak with the movers and shakers of sports, the sportsmen, sportswomen, sports administrators, coaches, just about everyone who's involved in sports. Well, on this weekend's program, we take a quick review of Grenada's participation in the Paris Olympic Games. Well, it basically came to an end in the past few days, primarily with the conclusion of their participation in track and field. And between last program and this weekend's program, we had all of our competitors participating. Halle Hazzard, Lindon Victor, Anderson Peters, Kirani James, they all participated. Mixed reviews for some, very good performances for many, I would say. Yes, Grenada with 2 bronze medals. It's the first time in Grenada's history in participating in the Olympic Games, they're actually walking away with 2 medals. Normally it's a 1. Okay. Well, let me welcome my co-host in Toronto, Rudy and Sylvan. By the way, folks, if for some reason you're hearing some little background noise, the program is coming live from Grenada. Rudy is joining me from Toronto, Canada, where it's probably a bit more quiet than Grenada, I would say. But good morning to you, Rudy.
Good morning to you, sir. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. From the you are in the Spice Land, So like I say, when you're in Grenada, everything is nice. So I'm pretty sure that everything is nice for you. And in this season, okay, you are in a season of things happening. You can't sit down. you're always on the road. There's something happening. Sightseeing and things happening and
But Michael is the type that who takes things with a bit of moderation,
okay? surely, But certainly it is good to be on. We certainly had a historical moment. Hey Hazel, how you doing? Certainly a historical moment, and there's a first for everything. When we had our first goal, that was very, exciting beyond. And now we have our first 2 medals coming home. So, certainly that's another first for us. And a lot of firsts for the OECS as well as for the Caribbean on a whole.
That is important. I'm glad you made the point. OECS, Redwood Island, that's something. So, yes.
Yeah, certainly. And it shows that what we have been talking about, it is time for the NACAC region to have a voice, a bigger voice. We have shown it because as you notice, the NACAC region has. Let me exclude Canada and the US for a minute. Just the Caribbean have shown that it's not only on the track. We have a voice now. We have it on the field, and we have proven it by getting gold medals. So. The discus goal from Jamaica, shot put goal, that never happened. Javelin is the second. I want to say second goal, second medal for the Caribbean. The guy from Trinidad, was it in the javelin? Yeah, in the javelin, right? So that's the second one from a long time. And Lindon never happened in the Caribbean of any decathlete ever. So certainly that is.
I'm glad you make the point, because while they perform at, let's say, the Commonwealth Games and even the World Championships, right? It shows that even at the next level at the Olympic Games, right, that there's some level of consistency among them, and there's some level of supremacy somewhere as well, right? Whether it's javelin, whether it's decathlon, and by the way, the point you will be making there, just to expand a bit, the Caribbean region in particular has been seen as just dominant in probably track and field.
Track and
Well,
field.
let's say track,
Yeah.
track in
Yeah.
particular, right? But we are now seeing that it is track and field because
And
there
field,
is a
certainly.
level of
Yeah.
dominance
Yeah.
even in
In the field. In the field
Yeah.
events, so certainly because even for the years I was like watching what's her name from Jamaica. For years I've been watching her, not realizing she never won a Olympic medal. That was her actual first Olympic medal. The Jamaican one that came second in the triple jump. Certainly that certainly was a shocker for me because I really thought I know she had been up there for so many years, but seeing that happening, that is really good. So we spoke about, we had a discussion maybe privately about the young lady from St. Vincent. It's not only at one point, it's not at one point she was homeless. Not at one point she had no idea, where her next meal probably coming from, or if she travels, she cannot get back into the country. How she paying her coaches? She made the finals, and she came fourth. Like that is just amazing at that level for her and for St. Vincent. After everything she have gone through, she have put herself in a position where now she definitely should be able to get a sponsorship. She definitely should be in a position where she can support her family now, pay her coaches, and be in a better place now. And with the hope there is some sort of support system out of St. Vincent for her now, on the the administration point in terms of sports. So there surely has been some sort of greatness that happened. You see Dominica Republic in the 400. So much things happen, man. So many things happen. And it was a great to see what happening. There's a bit of a disappointment in to some point of it from us as athletes, seeing some of the athletes pulling out. When I did the math, we had like 8 Caribbean athletes who pulled out, 8 who did not compete. Um, is it a business standpoint for them, meaning that they knew they were hurt, but the contract stipulate that they have to be in Olympic for them to get some sort of funding to keep this much? That could be what it is. If not, you disappointment in that another athlete could have been there.
Right. So let's look at, for example, the Bahamas.
Yeah.
We had the Bahamas, for example, with 2 of the Olympic medal contenders. And when I say Olympic, it was actually gold. We're talking about Shawnee Miller, 400 meters women, and we have Stephen Gardner, men, right? And they were in pole position for that. However, due to injury, as they was announced, as was claimed, that they had to pull out. Well, in the case of Shawnee, you realize Shawnee actually went and competed.
I also believe that was part of her contract. Okay, because we don't know a lot of the contract, you understand? So,
but what the flip side of that is the back and forth between the athletes now, well, particularly Stephen Gardner, which I was sort of shocked and surprised because Stephen Gardner is not known to be that type of person. He's more reserved. And there was this back and forth between himself and Pauline Davis, right? Pauline, one of the Golden Girls, right? She basically accusing them of knowing being injured and traveling to Paris, and which is a bit
and I think and I think that's what it is too, because I think on that point, on that standpoint, I think it's more to the point where it's based on the contract. The contract probably say you make the Olympic team, you get X bonus. You probably make a semifinals, where it's bonus, finals, bonus, and so forth. So I guess there's bonus for just going. So they have to be an Olympian for that bonus to happen. On a business standpoint, if we look at it from that standpoint, right? So they had to show up, injury or not, they had to show up and maybe not compete, but just be an Olympian for the 2024. And that's really, I think that's really what it was. More than you get injured. Yeah.
But we had the Bahamas and Jamaica where there were high expectations. But by the way, even if there was this disappointment on that part, the Eastern Caribbean showed, whether it's Grenada, whether it's St. Lucia, whether it's
Whether it's
Dominica, I
Dominica,
will
yeah,
hope that coming out of that, there will be the encouragement, there will be the enthusiasm, right? For others, whether it's Antigua and St. Kitts and others,
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
to step up. We see
to
even
step up. The
St. Vincent
system Vincent
almost a
right there, he
medal,
was right there,
almost
right there for that
a
for that
right?
first medal, right? So
Yeah.
it's certainly there, and there is a change, and you don't need a lot. If you notice, you probably don't need one or two. You don't need the whole country. You don't need a 15-man team. You just need one, and all you
So
need is
so
that one start, right? So
so here is my thinking. In going forward, and most of the NOCs, the National Olympic Committees,
yeah,
would already have plans for the Olympic cycle, which will, when it will start, to incorporate, for Los Angeles 2028, right? Um, and in terms of participation, my thing is that I want to see more varied participation at the Olympic Games, not just track and field. Whether it's cycling, whether it's swimming, as I mentioned, handball, for example,
yeah,
Grenada has a handball associate, a federation affiliated, but there's an association affiliated to the International Handball Federation. I want to
yeah,
get some more information about that. Whether
yeah.
it's triathlon, right? These are events that I know that in the Caribbean in particular, there's no reason why we can't have participation
We
in
can,
these
but
things,
yeah,
right?
and I
Um,
know
beach
our two.
volleyball,
That's what I was about to say. Our two females, we know they did try, so we're not trying to knock that. But then, we need to get them to the
but
games, right? You need
And
to get them to the games.
even if there is a
Yeah,
method of qualification, it means that we have to get them into the qualifying round,
into the
participate
qualifying rounds. Yeah,
in more of the Caribbean qualifying tournament, the
yeah.
Caribbean and Central American tournament.
American
It means
tournament.
that
Yeah,
we try to have active participation in things like the Pan American Games and the
yeah.
Commonwealth Games, which
Commonwealth
are
Games. Yeah,
events that will take place prior to the Olympics, which will also be used as qualifying events, right?
yeah.
I will want to see more of or more participation at the Olympic Games rather than just the track and field or just the
Well,
swimming by
yeah,
by
yeah,
plus
yeah.
representation.
Yeah.
But giving um, these sportsmen and women the opportunity to participate. By the way, there'll be some of those sporting disciplines where you have to qualify, right? But
Yes,
it's important that they participate in the qualifying
the
rounds.
qualifying rounds. Yeah,
Simply because if there is need for some method of just as how they give the athletes and the swimmers, for example, the qualifying the buy,
the bag.
it
Yeah,
means that if they participate in those qualifying events,
they have an opportunity to be part of the
there
bag.
is an opportunity for them, right?
Yeah,
You can't
but
just say
because
not
certainly
when they
because
go.
yes there will be cricket. We still I don't know if you know. I don't know the rules and regulation towards that. The cricket if it's going to be an age thing based on how they do it for soccer, right? I don't know exactly how it's going to come about and then how Caribbean teams can qualify. And then look at what does Grenada have to do? What does St. Vincent have to do? What does Dominica have to do for the cricket? How do you
Mm.
invest into this now saying, hey, there's cricket. What is the stipulation? What do we need to do to get in? And just work that in. And at least, like I said, try. Don't just not have a team. Try.
Right. So I was speaking to an official of the Olympic Committee, and I gleaned some information from our discussion because it refers to like the last Pan American Junior Game, Pan
Doing the
American
games,
Junior.
yeah.
The Grenada actually had representation in tennis, table tennis, boxing, cycling, swimming, and athletics.
Yeah.
They're hoping that next year, God's willing, they can include sailing, triathlon, and karate, right? There's also a junior program that has been going on for the past 2 years to have the 3x3 basketball and beach volleyball included, right?
Yeah.
Um, One of the things that I sort of recommended to them is that coming out of the Olympic Games, that they should have a sort of um, post
Post
Olympic,
Olympic six, yeah.
right?
Strategy. Yeah.
Not, but they should meet with the various affiliates, right?
Okay.
Um, Yes, the affiliates, they should be meeting with them. And in some cases, as the official told me, that is the plan. And in some cases, they'll try to meet with them individually, right? Hear what are your plans for the Olympic cycle, how it is that we can assist you. And inside of that, there should also be a discussion from the government part. The government must play a part as well, because we heard the Prime Minister, for example, speaking about assisting some of the athletes in terms of family members being there, all these sort of things. So there should be now a plan of action, and which involves the Grenada Olympic Committee, the Grenada government, and the private sector. Well, inside of that will also be involved with the affiliate, whether it's the Athletic Association, the boxing, swimming. By the way, I hope boxing will get themselves sorted out by then. We have the swimming, the various affiliates, okay?
Yeah.
Everyone should have a say in how we can make this LA 2028,
Right.
good representation, because by
Full
you will
representation.
also saying that there's no reason why in planning now we cannot have a situation where we can have something where we can have not just representation but supporters, spectators, right? We have so many Grenadians living in North America. I am certain some of them will want to be in Los Angeles. So now is the time to start putting all these things together. In terms of support, right?
Yeah.
I think that's so. We need to start getting our, and I like to use the word, our sportsmen and sportswomen, because it's not just track and field. Yes, track and field normally seen as the beacon, in terms of our representation, but we should also try to encourage others, right? Other sporting disciplines. The cycling, for example, I believe, and I always say that, we have a good prospect in our cycling. See Red Felix? I mean, give him that opportunity. That is the guy who finished second in the last championship in South America. Right?
South America,
give him that opportunity. He's a professional cyclist.
Yeah.
He races on the European circuit,
European circuit, yeah. And we have seen it, because even in the speed cycling, you see what was it, the Nigerian young man coming sixth. You never heard about that, right? So they're also doing the same thing by investing into those things. Certainly, it's certainly a good thing.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So that's one. And Chenny is saying, let's get some Moroccan, Kenyan, and Ethiopian naturalized for the middle and long distance event. Chenny, we don't really need them to be naturalized. What we need is probably some good coaching and things like that. So we don't have to.
Well, Chenny, a lot of them go to it's a lot of the Kenyans, go to other nations for whatever reason, and they get married and they get stuff. So, if there's a prospect and we can bring somebody over, we have to do what we have to do.
Akima, we need to prepare athletes for more than track and field. Lots of sports. Yes, we can try.
And that's exactly what it is. And that's why one of the things we said, Michael, is that a lot of this sport should be starting in the high school region. I know we're looking at 4 years, but if we start one of the sporting discipline and we give ourselves 8 years, but we started in the high schools, in the 8-year time, there will be a bill. There will be a bill, because we don't just set up one thing we said, you see, even just stick with the OECS. Every OECS team pick up one new discipline, one Olympic discipline that we don't have, and work on that through the high schools. Started in the high schools, and they are doing so many different things. Look at the United States. They decided to put flag football. How many countries plays football? Only 2, Canada and the United States. So what would the other countries?
Their football.
Their football. I mean, their football. Yeah. I know. Yeah. Their American football. Put it this way, right?
Yeah.
The other countries don't play football. American football. So now they're going to have to open up a discipline now, and then hope to have a team to make it the Olympic team. So that's another discipline. All these countries, most countries will want to have. Australia would want to. England will want to. And a lot of these NFL players who is from other countries may decide, hey, I may want to get into that if they're going to use the NFL players. So certainly, we have to see that. Look at basketball. Look at a team like South Sudan. Look what they did, right? So surely we can do it.
And to add to what Akima said, I think now's the time as well to start exciting our young sportsmen and sportswomen, the young ones, right? Now's the time to start exciting them about participating in other sporting disciplines at a very young age.
Yeah.
So it's part of your what you call your junior program, right? We should be saying, we're talking a lot about that, but it should be football as football, because there's a little bit qualifying football as well, right?
Yeah.
Now that we have cricket, now that we have all these other
sporting disciplines, yeah. But even
and as Keith Joseph was telling us, on our program recently, we have to start to find some niche.
We have to start. We need to.
Skateboarding and all these things could make it, right? Climbing and all these things. We could start having a niche.
I started climbing. And what gets me is not the idea is in the Olympics or it's a climbing event. That's not what gets me. Is the supporters in the stands. It was sold out for the third place and the gold and silver. It was sold out. And I'm saying, like, for climbing? They definitely have, they certainly have something hook up onto them. And okay, that's good. Certainly they have, they have the strings hook up to them. But I'm saying climbing. Not much of our people could climb coconut trees. And we need to start teaching them how to climb by holding up something. We have to do something. We certainly have to do something. And this is another area where now I would like to see athletics now. This is now I would like to see them coming in. It is time for us to have that 4x1 and 4x4 team. It is time. It is time. It is time. And I want to say that because I look at Canada, and this is the same team for the past 3 Olympics. At least the grass and Aaron, certainly, or at least for the past 8 years. And they stick together. They literally stick together. And it takes time. They build. There were times when they drop the baton or when they step on the line. All these things happen over the years. But look where they're at now: World Championship and now Olympics, back to back.
Yeah.
And
there's something about and in addition to that, is the investment involved in the Canadian team, because they have been participating even at sometimes at the Diamond League when they have the relays. Those guys, basically, it's like a gel now, right? They're probably the most experienced 4x1
team,
right?
In the world.
Because look at the Americans, for example, they keep jostling with who and
who. Yeah. Same thing. Same. Aaron is always leading off. And he started going second, but he was always leading off. And certainly, because he have an explosive start, and he actually run. He run on that relay. But so surely that, and it's time for us to start doing that. We identify 6 young men and we start grooming those guys in them. It is time for us to get there, and then let them go to meets. Let them travel and go to meets. Let them, it's a lot of them is in college in the US, and when they are sort of off season or they could leave within a 2-week gap, let them meet together and go to a meet and run a relay. It's not going to harm them. As long as the school give the okay, and we have seen most of the schools do give them the okay. It is time for us to do that.
Martin Felix is saying, in addition, maybe it's time for us to consider an OEPS education now rather than Grenada invitational. Well, you see, no, I would say let us expand on what we have already. We have already.
Yeah.
We have something that we can probably expand on. So all we need to do is to look at how we can make the Whitsun Clyde games that's what it should be, because with some that game sort of evolved from when it was past, when it involves things like cycling and all these sort of things, right, to what it is now. They probably jostling over 2 day, 1 day, all these sort of formats and things like. They just need to organize it into probably a good format, right? Yes, in terms of participation, we see a lot of the Vincentians and Trinidadians coming and participate, but what is to organize it in such a way that it can probably attract more and more of our regional competitors, right? I
Can
think
the name can the name change? Can the name
well,
change to the OECS championship?
no, you don't necessarily have to change the name. I mean,
Okay.
we had OECS championship before when we
In
had
the
the
past,
OECS.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we had even prior to that, we had the OECS Texaco OECS meet.
Technical assistance, yeah.
At the time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy used to cover that back then. The OECS Texaco International, where participants from, I remember the Benjamins from Antigua and then St. Kitts and, top athletes came out of that OECS meet. But it was sponsored by Texaco. Texaco was based, Texaco Caribbean was based in Barbados, right? And then we also have in football, we had Shell. So we had Texaco that was sponsoring track and field. And then we had Shell that was sponsoring football. Then they went into cricket and blah, 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 and things. But,
we had
the Shell Caribbean Cup, for example. So I think we have things, and Martin, thanks for that. But at the same time, we have something that we can probably look to expand on, look to support. Not to say that there isn't need for another, right? Anything that can enhance, but it must be something that can that is sustainable, that's also cost effective, but at the same time that can add to what you want to achieve. But point well taken. We In terms of Haran, there need to be more localized media within mixed zones, photographers and representatives throughout the game. Sportsmap did a great job with coverage, but the post-event interviews prioritize mostly gold medalists and other journalists from their countries. Well, listen, let me share that because I covered 6 Olympic Games already, and times have changed. The media has evolved. I know of places where they were able to have very good coverage, even without a journalist being there. It's how things are done. You don't necessarily have to be there, right? I'm being honest with that. You don't necessarily have to be there. With technology and all these things now, and with Instagram and all these other things, there are means of how it can be done. So even if you're not, I don't see it as like that, right? That is, to me, that is just minor, because you can arrange to have your, whether it's after the race, after the mix zone, whatever it is, because there is nothing much. And listen, what is the difference between an athlete competing, going to the mix zone, and probably speaking to him 10, 15 minutes later? And look at the Grenada context, for example, where, especially in terms of news value, right? Everyone seeing, let's say, Anderson competes, or Kirani, or whoever it is, Halle, whoever it is competes. Having an interview with them 10, 15, half an hour later is no difference to probably speaking to them right after the meet, right after they compete. I'm telling you that, right? Yes, it may look good in terms of being there, but and I'm saying that in the context of what it was probably 10 years ago to what it is now. Technology has basically improved. Yeah. You can speak to an athlete basically on the shuttle from the track to the games village.
Yeah.
And
we can notice also.
Record, something. I have listen. Yeah. I've done this, whether it's Diamond League or whatever. Here are the questions. I send them the question. can you just send me a note, a voice note, or send me a video thing? And they just respond to it and send it back to me.
Yeah.
So I'm saying there's so many things that can be
That's
done.
the right thing.
So
Yeah.
I understand the concern about being there and documenting and all these things, but I'm still saying it's not so much a major issue. Yes, it will be nice to be there. It will be nice to be documented, all these sort of things. But there are ways you can, get these
Yeah.
things.
And
And
and if
yeah,
you notice, right after the compete, there is that zoom camera with the friends and family.
right,
That right
right,
after the race they go
right.
right there. So that also literally right when they're done, you could be in
Yeah,
Grenada, bam, right away, and that
yeah,
could be a
all of that can be arranged.
there's also a way.
All
All
of
of that
that,
could be arranged. Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
that could be arranged. And you saw it right almost at
yeah.
the finish line where they were
All right at
doing
the
that.
finish line.
They can ask them questions. They can say
Well, yeah,
congratulations. All kind of things. That is a possibility. Um, there are some comments that coming in there. It's just that I may have to cut them up because they're a bit too long for the screen. Yeah, you see that. Karen is saying, now is the time to put a solid plan together for more representation. We have 4 years to identify and develop the talent. No, we do not have 4 years, eh? We have 4 years for the next Olympic Games. There's an Olympic cycle. And between that 4 years, you have the qualification and all these sort of things.
but only that
So
too. You
those
have World Championship next year. Then you have
things,
other games. Then there's also Caribbean games. There's a lot of in between. So it's not waiting for 4 years. It's just
I
waiting. Yeah.
understand the point you're
But I
making,
understand what you're saying. Yeah, I
saying
do
that
understand what you're saying.
there are a few athletes right now who are on the verge of running qualification times. The reality is continue to do the same routine expecting different results. We can start with a serious elite program for each sport that is sustainable, not these, stop and start programs we are running, right?
Yeah.
So that's,
And that is
um,
also good. Also, if I may add on to that, you also want to understand every country make their own Olympic standard. This year, the Olympic standard went up by a lot for in most of the events. So yes, you might see somebody could do this now. The next cycle around, they might go even better. When you look at, let me just use the triple jump for an example. There's only 7 or 8 females in the world that had the Olympic standard
but,
for the triple
but
jump.
hold on, the men's 100 is what, 10 seconds?
10 flat now.
10 flat.
Yeah, and it used to be 10:24.
So
Imagine
that's
that.
what
It
I'm
used to be
saying.
10:24 or 10:23.
So
So
what do you find? The faster guys get, you know, that's
I
what I'm
think they
saying.
go back. I think they probably look back at few Olympics and they see
It's like
this standard.
the
Like, yeah,
400 now, you have to be doing a sub 45.
you got to
What
run a
happened?
45. It used to be a 46.6. That's literally what it
46.
was, 46.6.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's what I'm saying.
And
Now
that's
we
20
need to
years ago, 24 years ago. Because
right, and
yeah,
guys now running 43 points. Now, could you imagine? And it becomes harder and harder. Why? For the final, the top five guys were
run 40,
under
43 points. Yeah, never
top
happened in
five.
history. Never happened.
It never happened in history. The
Never
last
happened
Olympic
in
Games,
history.
the top three
Yeah.
finished on the gold medal, the medalist, sorry. The medalist ran 43
Yeah.
points. Right?
Yeah.
With and because we had the world record, blah blah blah, 43. That. But you have the 75% of the finalists running sub 44.
So yeah,
How competitive this event is getting.
this event is becoming. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. There's one other thing. By the way, Hazel is joining us live from Paris, somewhere in Paris. She's fiddling around with
Yes.
a camera. Let me see if we can get her on. And
Bonjour, bonjour, bonjour.
Hazel is just unmute the mic, Hazel, so we can hear you. But Hazel is somewhere in Paris, and she's
Y'all,
joining us.
can y'all hear me now?
Yes, we hear you. Bonjour, bonjour, madame.
Bonjour.
Bonsoir. Yeah. So how things in Paris, Hazel?
It's great. I just got back from the village, so I'm trying to head to the track in a few minutes. But it's going
Right.
great. My voice is not quite there because I've been screaming. No one told me that you actually scream all the rounds for the throw of the javelin I have never done it before.
Good to hear. So can you tell us your mission there in because you're on a special mission at the Olympic
Yes.
Games?
Yes. So I'm working with the World Anti-Doping Agency. Um, this is the first time that WADA has an athlete engagement program in the athletes village. So we had two teams. Team A came in the beginning, and Team B is here now working. So basically, there is a booth in the athletes village. It's the Athletes 365, and there are different booths within the Athletes 365. So we are bringing awareness around clean sport, making sure that our athletes understand all of the pieces that need to happen like way before the games, but it's just like a trial, just having them go through a series of quiz with questions around anti-doping. They have to get 12 out of 15, and then they can get some of the apparel we have from Water. But it's really raising awareness and making sure that our athletes have the understanding, the coaches as well, because the athletes and the coach could also engage in the quiz. So it's really really good. I had opportunities to see a lot of our Caribbean athletes, including our own. So it was really great just to have that opportunity to be here. And again, it's all about raising awareness.
Right, right. That's good. That's good. And that's a that's a new initiative, I should say, because we
Yes,
never
it
really
is.
had that before in the previous Olympic Games, you know. And
It
I
is the
think
first. It is the first one. Yes, it's the
what the
athlete
feedback,
engagement program.
what the feedback you're getting from the athletes themselves. Sort of feedback.
Oh, wow. Well, some of them were like, "Oh, I didn't even know the answer to this question," or it would be like, "Oh, I wish I had knew this before. Oh, I took it before." So you have many
Yeah,
who have engaged with the quiz because this is something they can find on the website. But it was
right.
just really good to walk them through certain questions that they were struggling with together, not just giving them the answers. So it was really great. It was great to just have them come by and to take the quiz and ask all of the questions that they needed to ask, and also give feedback on, hey, maybe these are some of the things that we can do throughout the year as we lead up to the Olympic Games, not just at the Olympic Games, because for some, they may have just saw the quiz for the first time. So we are going to use this as a way to make better strategic planning for the future. But it's really great.
That's good. That's good. That's good. And certainly, I hope in terms of our Olympians, they were actively involved to treat
Oh
you
yes,
well.
of course they came by to see me. I had an opportunity to see them. I'm only waiting to see one person who been having the time of his life. Lyndon. Lyndon been having the time of his life,
Imagine.
and he deserved it. He deserved it. He's a superstar in Paris right now.
Yeah, I expect that. Chenny is saying hello to you.
Hi,
Um,
Chenny.
yeah, Chenny started off by saying he's in Dubai. I didn't believe Chenny, but you know,
You
yeah.
never know. Chenny might be in
Chinese
Dubai.
shopping. Chinese
Yeah,
shopping, okay?
there's a comment there because I probably you saw it, Hazel, and yourself and Rudian as Olympians. I consider myself an Olympian too, but in terms of quality. But Torres talking about sorry for the beating the Canadians put the new Americans in on the 4x1, right? Were you at the stadium for the 4x1?
Yes,
Tell me a
Canada
bit
did.
about yeah
Canada did
about
run a really, really good race. So they did their thing. And
deservedly, right?
Whenever you have an LSU Tiger on a relay, you know things gonna
Ah,
happen, right?
yeah. I know you have been poking around with your LSU Tiger fans. I saw all the photos and things like that. So the alumni is well represented, right? The alumni
Well
is
represented. Well represented.
Well. And
Yes.
we've seen it in the pole vault. That was awesome. That was an awesome jump. And he's a tiger. He's a tiger, certainly.
Yes, but our athletes are doing great. They're enjoying their time. Anderson has an opportunity today. Well, probably already went by to walk the red carpet where everybody gets to see him. They get to dance and have fun
Yeah.
and just really enjoy it. So being here and being able to see them, knowing that they've worked so hard, celebrating and having fun after all of the years of training, it's just really, really great.
What about have you spoken to Kirani? I mean I spoke to Kirani, but I mean our conversation is not necessarily for you know that for our discussion here. But what is his, you know, mood, appearance, everything after seeing him?
Oh, he's fine. He's doing fine. Again,
Yeah.
Kirani has done all that he could. He gave us his best, and he has nothing to be disappointed with. So he's doing well. He's having fun, and he's smiling. So nothing nothing to be
Yeah.
worried about.
Well, yeah. Yeah, that's Kirani's temperament. Speaking to him, I'm saying, Kirani, that can't be me, boy. But that's the nature of him. And my hope is that just that we can use the Kirani's experience. I mean, for Olympic Games. I mean, some people only did one, two, three, but four, and still very competitive at his age. I mean, there is
Yeah.
something I think that coming out of that we need to explore. You understand?
Yeah.
We need to explore because Kirani, I'm saying, Kirani running 43 points at his age is like running a sub 10. He's running 9 point something. Look at it. I mean, check it.
Yeah.
9 point
Yeah.
something, very competitive. So that is very important. Some comments for you, Hazel. Thank you for the awesome work done on the Grenada Athletes Commission. Um, is Hazel
Thank
part
you,
of the Grenada
Haroon.
Athletes Commission? Great job in keeping us posted on our athletes too. And yeah, and Bas and Hazel and Ed and Sam can change citizenship. Canada included Rudy and myself would gladly welcome. Yes, Toro. So,
No, no, I'm good.
I know that was a good thing for Canada after the drone gate, spying with the drone. That was a
We
good,
needed something.
that was a good
We,
thing
we,
after.
we needed something after that.
Yeah,
We had we did had Celine Dion that day, but then we needed something else. So that kind of changed it. That changed it.
We have too
yeah.
many Olympians already in Canada. You have Rudy, you have Patricia. Who else we have? We have
Misha, you have Misha right ahead. Yeah, we got it. Yeah.
Yeah. So the overall, Hazel, what would you say in terms of the experience? I mean, you were back in Sydney and things like that. So, but the experience of the Olympic Games now, I mean, the now factor.
it is totally different. I wish
Yeah.
when we went to the Olympic Games, we got half of the things, the phones
Yeah.
and everything, and all
Yeah,
these
it
great
was the
things.
phones.
I'm like, I'm like, I need to run. I need to be an athlete like right now.
Yeah,
It is really great. You can tell that there's a lot of work put into preparing for the games. Just touring the athletes village, looking at the different facilities, the weight room, the spaces athletes have just to like check in or check out, their mental space and everything. Everything here just have something that says we have done way more and we will continue to make sure the needs of athletes are met. And I appreciate that coming from my experiences when there are a lot of things that we didn't have. This game really makes you want to say, I wish I could do this again.
yeah. And I'm hoping, and that's what I'm saying, it's good for the to share those experiences, not just the participation per se, competing, but the experience. That too can inspire the young ones, can inspire others, right? This, so that they too will want to, you know.
Yeah,
Um,
and one thing, Michael, that I really appreciate the mental wellness of athletes. It's
Yeah.
very you can see this in this village. Like even being respectful when athletes are walking by, if their tag says athlete in competition, not to bother them, right? Give them
yeah,
this space. So you're being respectful to that and having just spaces where they can just really go and relax and detach from all that's going on. And I also appreciate some of the policies that are in place to protect athletes on social media.
Yeah.
There are a lot of things that I really appreciate, and I believe athletes also appreciate because at the end of the day, we want to make sure that they are okay.
right, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Surely.
as part of the athlete commission, and by the way, folks, for clarity, when we speak about the athlete commission, don't even though Hazel's background is track and field. It's not just track and field.
No.
The athlete commission
All sports.
basically represents our athletes
Athletes. Yeah.
in totality. So whether
Yeah.
you're a swimmer, Whether you're a footballer, whether you're a cricketer, whether you're a netballer, whatever sporting discipline you are, you can be part and participate in the athlete's mission, right? So when she speaks on behalf of our sportsmen and sportswomen. Hazel, to you, what it is you're hoping in terms of our next cycle, because Los Angeles will be it, in terms of our participation. We have been discussing it, for the past few
Yeah.
minutes. What it will be like, or what is what is your view, what is your opinion of Grenada's participation in Los Angeles 2028?
I think well, we should have started already, but I think if we really start the talent identification and tracking of our athletes and really have strategic planning of what we would like to see for the next coming years, because a lot of our athletes are in college. So it is important for us to
Yeah,
have dialogues with their coaches so that have an understanding that, okay, the athlete is not just preparing for college. We also want them to prepare for whether it's Panam Games, CSEs, because again, if our athletes miss out on those important meets, then they can't
Yeah.
qualify. So
Yeah.
identifying talent identification number one. So whether we want to know who are our top 5 or 6 4x4 people, 4x1, if we have a team, 400 meters, 200 meters, all of our sports, field events, just identifying them, meeting and making sure we are organizing with coaches so the athletes are not just preparing for their college experiences. We have to be able to be more strategic in the work that we're doing and not at the last moment trying to see, okay, who do we have as a team, and trying to get them together. So I think if we do that now, then we will be able to have a sustainable team across the board that's preparing for LA 2028. I mean, we have athletes out there, but having them is one piece of it. How do we prepare them is another.
certainly.
So true. So true. Yeah. Um, Definitely that
What
is
will be the
yeah.
Americans to get Canada out of the competition and prevent the Canadians from putting some beating at the US? Yeah. Yes, Toro. That was a setup, American setup. Yes, Toro. Okay, it was an American
But
setup.
Hezman,
Um,
you had an opportunity to visit the Olympic House. How was that?
Oh, awesome, awesome. So I think I posted this morning on my
Yeah.
Facebook. It was an experience. I mean, you walk in and you felt like, oh my God, what have I been missing? It's a feeling of you're not alone. You have a group of people, and there's so many Olympians that I've had the opportunity to meet. Even Tonique and I ran 400 together.
Yeah.
Alan
right.
and I had an opportunity to hang out as well. So it was a great experience, and it makes me feel, and all of us, we should definitely not take this lightly. Being an Olympian is a very, very important thing. Being a part of a prestigious group and walking into the Holy House, being able to meet with the president, being able to meet with all of the different executive members and sit in. We had a meeting for the Americas World Olympian Association and just engaging with others and knowing that you're a part of what I call my sorority. For you, Rudy, will be your
Hmm.
fraternity. My sorority was really, really great. Not just the building, but the camaraderie and meeting others and having everyone just be really friendly and warm. Even though you don't even know them, they come up to you and they greet you and hug you. It's a great experience.
No, most definitely. Most definitely. I must say because I can see you having a wonderful time, and I know one of the coaches that I know who is also an Olympian Canadian. He's a long jumper. He also posts. He actually received his pin, which was interesting. He also received his pin, and so certainly it was nice to see that. Yeah.
Yep, and we got
Yeah.
to sign again, sign a wall, and I also shared
Yeah.
with you you can leave your mark as well, so you don't have to
Yeah,
be
I did.
present
I
with
actually
me.
did. I actually went and did mine. Yeah, I did mine. I leave my mark, and I did my signature. So yeah, certainly. Yeah.
Yes, and making sure that our current Olympians have the information. So I shared everything with our current Olympians so that they too could register, get their OLI, because again, being an Olympian is a big deal, and we should definitely make use of all of the things that come with it.
Right. Kenny is saying I'm utilizing all of our Olympians to share knowledge in addition to the athletes commission.
Absolutely, and again, Trenny, we also have Grenada Olympians Association. So working together is what we would love to do and continue to do, just to make sure that we are leveraging the talent of all of our Olympians.
Right. That's very important. So well, Hazel, well, today is basically the last day of competition. With I think Sunday morning should be what, the marathon. There's a
The marathon,
marathon,
the female marathon. Yeah,
the female marathon, because today was the men's, yeah, the female
yeah.
marathon, and then we have the closing ceremony. Who's carrying the flag for Grenada for the closing?
So that would be well, Tilly's not here, so Lyndon is here. Tilly already left.
Yeah, well, that would be a show time for Lindon if he does.
Lyndon is having the time of his life, and
Yeah,
he
yeah,
deserves it, right?
He
They
certainly
all
deserves it.
they all
Certainly
do.
deserves it.
They all
Yeah,
do. They have worked
yeah,
extremely hard. And for our swimmers and Halle, just the experience that they have, it just motivate them to know, like, I've been here. Now I know what the experience is all about, and I know what to look for LA 2028. So
yeah,
again, and just our team is doing great, supporting, working really, really hard to make sure the needs of all of our athletes are met. So kudos to everyone.
yeah.
yeah, certainly. All right. Well, I'm here in Grenada. I'm soaking in some of the fun, I should say, or whatever is there. But certainly, with the fun, I also have to keep an eye on my sportsmen and sportswomen wherever they are. So even if it means putting the activities on pause, there's no reason because it's in the blood.
Certainly,
Appreciate that.
certainly.
And Michael, there's one more thing because I know some people have reached out and asked when are the athletes coming home. Just a quick reminder, they're not done. Some of them have
Yeah,
major, major competitions.
the Diamond League
Still have
continues.
Diamond Leagues.
Yes, yes.
Diamond
So
Leagues continues. Yeah,
everyone wants them home to jump up for carnival, but the work is not
No,
complete for
no, no.
for
yeah,
our athletes yet, especially Lyndon, Kirani Anderson. So
Yeah,
you guys would see them when we don't know, but just I
yeah.
want to put that
yeah,
out there. People have been
yeah.
Yeah,
asking
because
about it.
remember, yeah, they are professional athletes,
Yeah,
and
they're still on and
the
they're still
the
under
Olympic
contract.
Games
So
is
it's one of the things
the
too. Yeah, we
Olympic
talk
Games
about.
part of their schedule. The Olympic
Yeah,
Games part of their schedule. Their
Yes.
schedule
yeah,
continues, and they would have put things together. Yeah, so certainly the athletes, and especially with the already in Europe, right after the Olympic Games, the Diamond League, for example,
Diamond Leagues
resumes.
continue. Yeah,
Continue. Um, he says, Karen is saying, we are halfway there with the talent identification. We pick a character team every year for the games. We have nationals also. We need to get these athletes into elite programs, right?
That is
And that's
true.
something you have been talking about, Hazel,
yeah,
right?
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. Yes, so I will try to give you an update
Uh,
on the on the cricket as well. And Mr. B, are you playing jab jab with Toro?
but
Only
certainly,
idea.
but certainly, Michael, one of the biggest thing too is also getting the sports policy out. If there is anything in there which there should be in thing there's to help the athletes, to support the athletes, they need to know that, and that's something that needs to be out there as soon as possible. I know there is a setback, but certainly we need to try and get this policy out as soon as possible. So at least the athletes know there is a support system for them for the next 4 years.
Sherry, you asked me about the status of the planned Olympic size swimming pool. What I can tell you is that the Grenada Amateur Swimming Association, along with probably the Grenada Olympic Committee, will make that official announcement when it's necessary. But as far as I can say, they are well on their way. Grenada I should say, well on its way to having its own swimming pool. I don't know about Olympic size, but I know it's a swimming pool, right? I can tell you it's a swimming pool. Well, it's approved and being funded by FINA, which is the International Swimming
Yeah,
Federation. I assume if it's been done by them, it will be
it will be an
along
Olympic size. Uh,
Yes.
Olympic.
And
Definitely,
you would
what is
have
it?
enough room to
The
swim, Jenny.
50-meter long. Yeah,
Jenny,
yeah,
you would have enough room to swim. Don't worry. You have enough room,
Yeah.
Jenny.
So that I know for a fact that it has been confirmed that Grenada FIDA has approved it. But in terms of official announcement or whatever, I probably after the Olympics they will do something officially regarding that. But that is what I can say about that. So here's what's on the menu for the rest of the day for you.
So I want to start by the track. I did not get a lot of time to explore Paris, go to the Eiffel Tower, or any of that yet between my scheduled work time and also trying to go to the track to make sure I'm supporting the athletes. So hopefully I can get some time to just, see everything. Yeah, but nothing much. Took to the
Right.
Grenada always had the biggest flags.
Yeah. Yeah. Well. The flag used to be something that used to be the negative part over the years. Oh, athletes want to have a flag, this sort of thing. No, it's nice to see that we have the biggest flag, but that's interesting. Yeah, because I know Kirani told me that I think he wants to look at some football or whatever, but I know our athletes themselves, they want to soak in the last bit of the Olympic Games because normally they won't, during preparing and competition, they don't get a chance to,
You don't get a
right?
chance to.
After
Yeah.
competition, that's their opportunity, right? So because
Absolutely.
Kirani basically was planning to be on our program today, but then
Oh yeah, because I
when
got I got work for you and Rudy. That's why I'm here.
yeah, yeah. But he wanted to say, I say, hey guy, enjoy it. We can always chat another time, because you should know that is after during your competition, you try to be focused on that, right?
Yeah.
Probably a few days before you get into the track and field, if you get there pretty early, you might want to throw a little support to the swimmers, whatever. But then, you block off your
After
mind,
that, yeah.
focus on training, preparing, participating. After that,
Yeah.
you can have a ball of
Super.
time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I think
and
that is
one
what he's
one
trying
thing
to
I
do.
must
Yeah.
say, our athletes they have been very supportive. Even
Right.
Anderson had to compete the next day, but he was out there supporting Kirani. So just watching them really support each other, even if
Right.
they have
That's good.
competition. Yes, so that was really good. The support was
Yeah.
huge.
Right. That's good. That's good. Um, so, so someone is saying there, Grenada also have athletes in the World Masters Championships in Sweden from the 13th to the 24th of August. So that's something we probably should look out for. Oh, okay, Niger Spike. So I know who's speaking there now. Right. Oh, and in fact, he's a master. He actually lives in the U.S. In New York in particular. So that's good. So World Masters Championship, the 13th to the 24th of August in Sweden. That's something we should look forward to. Wherever you can monitor and see Grenada's participation in that. That's great. Thanks for that information.
And don't forget our
Yeah.
Paralympic games are coming
Ah,
up. So
that's the other thing.
we,
And
Yeah.
yes,
that is why
yes,
I was saying that the post-Olympic discussion should come after the Paralympics. Because
Olympics.
my thing is that we should see how, in terms of participation in the Paralympics included, it should not just be track and field again. We have so many of those talented, whether it's table tennis, whether it's tennis, I mean, just name it. I know there are Grenadians who can participate in those sporting disciplines. Give them those opportunities. So that's why we need to have that conversation. The Grenada Olympic Committee, the Ministry of Sports, and the affiliates need to sit down and have a broad-based discussion on reviewing Paris. I'm looking forward to LA 28, which will include participation in things like the CSC, Pan American Games, if they do have it, Commonwealth Games in preparation for the Olympics, right?
Yeah.
and
Thank you very much.
let us
Go
support
ahead.
our para athletes as much as we
Yes.
supported.
Well,
We have to make sure that we do that. It is very, very important that they receive
Important. Yeah.
the level of
yes,
support.
I agree with that. I agree with that. We have a tendency when the Olympics finish, that's it. And we turn
That's it.
away
Yeah.
and we forget our Paralympics, right? We need to also give them the support because they have the potential
Mhm.
to do good or even medal in some cases. Give them the
Yeah.
support, right? Yes. Thank you, Hazel. Thank you very much. Right.
Continue. Have fun.
Appreciate.
All right, y'all. Take care. Bye.
Yes.
All right.
Au revoir.
Oh boy.
Au revoir.
Horrible. Yeah. Thank you very much. That was Hazel live in Paris, France, enjoying herself. And very important work she's doing with water and things like that. So
Yes.
look
Yeah.
forward to yeah, great program, always on point. Nice to see you, Hazel. Right. Oh, Bevan's Stanislas. Bevan, good afternoon to you. I know Nigel he's actually in Toronto. Well, that's good. Right. Um, well, Karen, I can't tell you about the press conference by the GOC. That probably, and if ever they do, remember the athletes are not returning home, so they, not to say they can have one with the athletes and things, because all three of them are professionals. They will continue on the circuit, blah blah blah. But I'm hoping that they do have one at some point in time where they can discuss. But it will also be good if they can have one where we can hear what are likely to be plans for the future. We don't want one where you ask them and they say, well, we have not met with the affiliates, we have not discussed, we have not been briefed fully yet. There should be one where you can come with information in terms of the debriefing, because they normally will have a debriefing.
Yeah.
So that people say what went wrong, blah, 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 all these sort of things, and what are the plans for the next probably
Next 4
cycle.
years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it would be good to have one, not just have one to just say, well, we participate. Everybody knows now really that's participation and what they achieve, right? What we want is that, yes, from that, what it is we're looking forward to. So, yes, I'm certain they will have one at some point in time, but I'm hoping that there will be one where you can give us substance, right? So we probably give them time, get all what you think, and hopefully, and then have one probably after the Paralympics. You'll have enough time after the Paralympics.
After Paralympics, yeah.
We don't need to have all the athletes together to have a debriefing. If they're out, you can always do that. USA win the gold medal 1-0. That's the football. That would be the football.
Yeah. Yeah, they
Yeah.
played they play Brazil.
And then, boy, it has been a long time now I've been able to soak in some other sporting disciplines like table tennis. Julian, I've been watching table tennis. I've been watching handball. I've been watching outside of track and field. I've been watching
Yeah.
those
Yeah, I
cycling.
watch a
Cycling is one
lot
of
of
my
yeah.
cycling is one of my other sports. When I go to the Olympics, I like to go to watch the cycling, especially the sprints. Right? Cycling
Yeah,
is
the
an
speed
event.
cycling also like that, yeah.
I love cycling. I have a passion for cycling outside of track and field. Even more than probably basketball and all these other things. Cycling, and that was even before the Reds, Phoenix, and thing was involved. I just like cycling, and I'm, I'm hoping. It's just my hope. Probably when Rudy and Arturo become sports minister, that they'll be looking to give us that sort of facility. Yeah.
But suddenly
I'm not
there's
saying, no, I'm not saying we're dancing with time in Los Angeles, but a breakdancing team at the next Olympics.
we need to have that surely, because I don't know, but like I said, the we have to look at some disciplines of sports and see how
Yeah,
we could
yeah. Kind of, yeah.
certainly see how we could
Yeah,
also have a traditional, the boxing, the swimming, and track and field. We need to look at other sports, even women's soccer. Like it's a lot of things we need to look into, and
right.
and they need to be transparent with us. Say yes, it's something that they're looking into. We need that transparency with the football and in the next few years, because as we told, as it seems like Africa want to host 34, 32.
Mm.
So whoever have that, they might have netball. Never know. Netball might be a thing for women. So we'll see. They might be both men and women playing netball.
Mm. Yeah. So that's it, folks. So much nice having you. Hopefully, we return with our program
Next week, yeah.
from New York next Saturday, God willing. Hopefully,
Yeah.
But it has been a pleasure having you.
Yeah, definitely. No, I know you certainly will have a good time. Toro, I have to say to you that when it's needed, Canada step up. And it was a need in that 4x1. It was surely a need. It could be the last Olympics for those guys. Could be, we don't know. But they
Yeah.
surely stepped up when they needed to, and it was a phenomenal race.
That is a big picture on the front pages of some of the major newspapers, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, because they did it. And it's so funny because, and I'll just show you a few things, because at the World Championship, um, the coach Glenroy was on the chopping table. It literally was on the chopping table in terms of getting rid of. Yeah,
Glenroy has Grenadian parents, right? Glenroy was in Grenada
Gilbert. Yes. Yeah.
a few years ago, and as if I heard him said that about some Grenadian connection, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I actually I had a conversation with him when I saw him on the indoor season, and he did mention to me that too. He did.
By the way,
when we had the talk. Yeah.
About the Canadian coach, right?
Canadian coach. Yeah. So he showed he have proven himself.
So we might be able to inquire and find out if he has some relative
some roots, whatever roots from the wall. But surely, like I said, you see that a lot of coaches, a lot of people, when they're in a position, you see what happening. And there's the scandals and everything that happened even with the grass and his coach, where Canada had to take back the accreditation from him because of some scandal that's going on. So there's a lot of stuff that even with the grass had to deal with in that moment. So it's good to see in the end, they could have pulled off and get a medal. But we need to see more Caribbean athletes, more Caribbean teams, in the relays, certainly in the relays. We need to see more Caribbean teams. But what the past years, go ahead.
So I'm giving you some homework. The coach name is Glenroy Gilbert, right?
Gilbert, yeah.
Do some background and report back to us. Except anything about the war.
and remember, Glenroy, he has a gold medal from Atlanta, 4x1. Right. So
he says yes, his grandparents are Grenadians, and he says highly likely the war. So you see, I'm telling you, but I know he has some Grenadian connection.
Yeah, he has some Grenadian connection. Yeah.
Grandparents are Grenadian.
Grenadian, yeah.
Boy,
Has to be the one. It's so funny.
To talk about the cricket and things like that. Yeah, we will at some point in time.
At some point in time, yeah. Yeah, it's so funny with it's so funny, just before you go, it's so funny with when Alfred win the 100 meters. Of course, Jamaica have to turn around and say, well, she went to school in Jamaica for 3 years. They just cannot give St. Lucia what is there. They just have to come in and say, well, she went to school in Jamaica for 3 years. They just had to say that. So Jamaica always have to think that, they have a part with everybody in the sprinting, right? So, like Toro said, if you're Grenadian, you're probably from the Wharf.
All right, so just an update. Sure wanted an update. South Africa has scored 357, and West Indies, that's in the test match, the first test, West Indies 145 for 4. It's there's a lot of rain and things in that part of the region now, so wet conditions are being affected by rain. West Indies 145 for 4. They applied to South Africa 357 in the first test. Being played here in the Caribbean, right? Yeah. So thank you very much, folks.
Surely,
I really love
I know. We will certainly talk again. We will talk about Noah Lies. We never get a chance to do that. We'll definitely do that next week.
We didn't talk about the lies.
We didn't talk about the lies, and so forth. But we will talk about it next week. We'll add it in. Yeah. But surely, continue your vacation with the family. Be safe. And I'm going to pray that the Lord guide you guys and protect you guys while you're there. Just have fun. Let's make sure let's see that we have a safe carnival. So I put it in your hands now that you have to see that Grenada have a safe carnival. It's in your hands now. So you take over from here.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
All right,
All right,
enjoy. All right,
thank
yeah.
you.
Yeah.
So, folks, that's it from us here in Grenada. It has been a pleasure. Looking forward to your company come next Friday, God's willing, where we have another program. But until then, do have yourself a pleasant weekend. For those of you in Grenada, also have a safe and enjoyable festival, which is Carnival. Until then, peace out.